Hello, everyone. A very good afternoon, good evening to from wherever you're joining in. This is Jasleen Kaur, lead content marketing from the Tech Mahindra's BPS marketing team. It gives me great pleasure to host this insightful tech talk on digital transformation through innovative use of computer vision technologies. Today, we have with us the experts from the technology vertical, presenting Mr. Sagar Paul, business lead Kornea and RPA business lead Tech Mahindra BPS. With him, we have Vaibhav Dalal, Product Head Kornea and CAI Business Lead, Tech Mahindra BPS, along with Imran Momin, Head of AI Products, Tech Mahindra BPS, and Rihanna Smith, Customer Service Lead for the Automation at Tech Mahindra BPS, who will be moderating this session for us. I really appreciate you all taking out time from your busy schedule to attend this Tech Talk. We have lined up these great minds today to talk about how Tech Mahindra realized the need for developing a computer vision powered monitoring solution which generates data to perform desktop utilization analytics. We will finally wrap this up with a 15 minutes Q&A towards the end of the session. Please use the chat box appearing on the system to ask your questions, which will then be answered by our panelists post the discussion. This session will be moderated here on by Rihanna. Over to you, Rihanna.
Thank you very much, everyone. I'm really glad to be part of this live discussion today. But before we start this topic and discuss why Tech Mahindra has created this computer-powered vision monitoring tool, let's just take one step back. So we've been pushed into a work from home way of work post-COVID. And this has given rise to many new challenges for senior management of organizations to ensure both the employee productivity, but as well as the employee safety. Now, in a setting where an employee's presence is mandatory at a desk to ensure business processes, human surveillance have become an impossible task. Thus, it has become imperative to have a tracking tool that can track your productivity, ensure your endpoints are secured, and data is protected. So, in my view, a single tool that can provide data for multiple has become the need of the hour. Now, what we did in the past, we predominantly monitored certain functions from the office, but those functions now have to be done remotely. For example, monitoring the employee's presence in a workspace, PC health, audit compliances, tracking of login activity, and loss of productivity hours. So to address these needs, Kornea, we have created an application, which is a resident application on the end user's laptop or desktop. And this will monitor login activity as well as applications, aided with computer vision algorithms. And Kornea was developed. So without further ado, let me open this discussion and pose my first question to Sagar. So Sagar, with work from home posing so many new challenges, what are clients asking for when it comes to monitoring their trust and safety operations?
I think customers are not asking, work from home solutions. I think the new word is work from anywhere, and that's actually and that's where the world, is moving to. It's going to be more on workforce moving slowly from office to areas to any place. In fact, offices are also getting open, so there's no single seat where they can work. So I think a work from anywhere is now critical. And because it's critical, it's very important for organizations to know what people are doing with their devices. In the recent times, we have heard things like moonlighting and all the other things that's happening. And these are, known issues that we know, and we either accept it as corporates or we do something about it.
Yeah.
Interesting story here, Yana, is that, Kornea as an application itself was developed by our team when we went to work from home. And the genesis of the tool is to understand what our people are doing when they are at home, right? But when we created the tool and we started to develop it and hand it over to Imran for doing a lot of R&D and research on it. We understood that there's something very powerful about what it's doing. See, the best thing about a tool like this is that they are modular in nature. When we went out in the market, we didn't find anything which is modular. It comes with all the bells and whistles. But what we got to know because of 78,000 people that we take care of in our BPU unit, privacy was of utmost importance. So we understood that Kornea had to be deployed, but with multiple privacy, multiple law of lands across the world, and ensuring that both our clients and the people feel safe for a team for a tool like this which exists in the device. It captures the right things to trigger non-compliant behaviors, non-productivity hours, but does not capture anything which is not necessary to be kept, from the client and employee information. And that's the thin line that tools like this in the market, kind of uh, don't uh, don't know about. But we being the genesis of BPO, people being the center of our business, clients being the heart of our business, it came very naturally to us to know what we should not do. And that's what the genesis of Cornea is. And hence I say that these challenges are not challenges that only our clients are facing. We as a unit with so many processes, including a technology team, we also face this problem, and that's what we did first. We tested it, we used it, we got approvals from multiple clients for internal use, and that's when we were satisfied that this is something which will help outside tech M world. That's when we launched the tool. So it's a tool, it's a plug and play. You can deploy it today and you get the data today. So it's not anything that you have to think about, or there is going to be any due diligence discovery. It is a plug and play tool. It you do deploy it and you gain visibility on your productive and non-productive hours. You gain visibility if there's anybody who's trying to fiddle, take a picture of your screen. If there's somebody else who is looking at your screen from a non-work environment of where they are working from, almost immediately as soon as you do. In several of the use cases, and again, moving away from work from home, we're talking about work irrespective of where you are. Where we have seen is, back offices. Right? Back offices are the black hole of an organization. They tell you what they can do. Right? They tell you that, we can do only 50, transactions in a day. They might be a very good advisor, a group of very good people who can do it in 3 hours. Like somebody who's lacking behind who does it in 10 hours. So in the average of 8 hours, they can do 50. But there is a group of people who can do 100. But back offices normally don't have that. What we saw when we deployed Kornea, we saw there were people who were the top performers who needed only 2 hours to do that. And remaining hours, they were either not logging in or they are doing something else, playing, and just wasting time. And this just gave them an uplift. It's not about always saving FTEs. It's about getting 20% more or 30% more from the people who are good. Right?
Yeah.
And that's what we saw when we Kornea, and that was almost immediate. Second day we saw. And what it does is basically takes away the lack of transparency. We have to be transparent, and as a corporate, we try everything to be transparent. We also want that transparency with our employees.
Absolutely.
And that's where the tool like Cornea plays a
Yeah.
role.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Saga. That was very, very insightful, quite interesting as well. So, my next question is to Vibhav. So, Vibhav, with all of these bells and whistles, can you tell us what is under the hood of Kornea?
Sure. Sagar, firstly, thanks for setting the context in the background as to why Cornea was required in the first place. Now, Cornea is a state-of-the-art application, that can be installed on a laptop or a desktop to monitor any kind of login activity or applications being used along with the computer vision algorithms in place. This ensures that there's no unauthorized access or any kind of misuse of the system, and helps monitor any kind of shoulder surfing or some a misuse of the system. Uh, n-
Vibhav, can you hear us? Vibhav, can you hear us?
I think what he was
Okay.
trying to say there, and let me just cover
Okay,
up. We have very important people joined. I saw Alistair, he was joined in. Thank you for joining. Some of my clients, Manish, Ravi, thank you for giving us the time today. But just to cover up till the time, VD gets back. What it does is basically, what is the core functionality? And that's what, he was talking about. The core functionality is face recognition. All right. So there are a couple of things. I already talked about productivity, but there is also something called face recognition. What it does is first, it understands who is the owner of this laptop. Right. That's the first thing that application like this do. Then anybody else will be stopped from using this till the time you're the owner. Right. The second thing that it does is that if I take my mobile in front of my phone, my laptop, and try to take a picture, uh, it can't be stopped when you're working, but it can be captured. And when you
okay.
capture this, you also need to know what they were trying to take a picture.
Mm.
So these are some of the things that VD and Imran, they kind of thought about again, like this is a core business like BPO. So we know all the good and the bad things that people do. And that's what it does. The face recognition is compared against a file, a pickle file. We call it a pickle file, and the similarities are calculated. It sees that is it similar to the picture that I had, and then it kind of goes about. It also understands if it's a human face, and that's a very interesting use case. When we deployed it first time, even with soft toys on the background, it used to be captured as a face, and it just started throwing errors and sending emails to our audit team, and
Mm.
and that's when we got to know that it recognizes a face but does not understand a human face, and that's when the tweaking and the work happened to ensure that it's not it understands what it's supposed to and
Okay.
and obviously a big play from WFM team, Shashank from WFM team. They are the one who became the custodian of this data, because some of this productivity data just went to the WFM team and gave them what they didn't have, and analytics understanding of what people are
Yeah.
doing. And the second piece of our owners where our internal audit teams, where they said, okay, this seems nice, okay, but how do you do this without kind of impacting anybody's privacy? And they
Yeah.
really helped us. So what are the benefits? Basically what we're doing is we're doing risk mitigation, right? A lot of IT security compliance, parameters are getting captured by Kornea, which is nothing to do with our agents, but it checks your laptop, with is the USB on? Are you trying to stop any antivirus? Are you trying to take off something? Are you trying to access something that you're not supposed to? There are some parameters that are put in our devices. Are all those parameters still in play? Did you try to kill something, that you should not? So these are the things. And when I say kill, I'm talking about your application. It doesn't capture it. So and all that is something that this did, and it's doing right now. It gives us 100% security checks of all our devices. Huge
Wow.
thing, right? And I was talking to one of the clients. I had met them yesterday. They had come for a client visit, and that wowed them. Rather than face recognition for them, it was important to see every desktop is compliant. So everybody has their own needs, right? And that's what.
Yeah.
and it provides an independent and a thorough review of your system, right? All your potential security risks. Nobody is manually checking it, right? This is automation. It does not know what it's capturing. It gives you the right data. It does not let you fix something and then say this audit is passed. So, all those small behaviors, even at the service level, gets captured. Um, Obviously, preventive measures, you become more and more secure when your desktop is concerned. Also, interesting fact, there are people who do not log in even for 3 hours a day, and we found those. We also found people are using your laptops for 18, 19 hours.
Yeah,
Right?
that's true.
So, right. And that means that the life of my device is going up. This is cost for us, right? This is cost for us. And these are things that you do where you capture those people and ask them, why are you using a company device outside your company working hours? And these are some of the parameters that we got when we used Kornea, and we got to know, yeah, these are the places where we get savings. Obviously, it's customer focused. We're doing all of this to ensure that customer trusts us. We create a trustworthy environment for everybody around us, including us. And obviously, this is cloud ready. It's SaaS model. So all of that has been taken care even before we deploy this.
Wow. That's amazing. Thank you very much, Sagar. It looks like we've already lost Vibhav. He might join us back in. He might have some network issues. Now, apart from traditional monitoring implementations, computer vision paired with automation has solved many problems for customers. For example, where manual intervention is required, where you have a bunch of applications and you need to sort through them manually to pick up duplicate applicants through pictures to detect fraud. Um, this use of automation has sifting through paginated records with computer algorithms, vision algorithms, have solved so many atypical problems, especially for one of our largest telecom producer or telecom providers. So my next question is to Imran. Imran, when you have deployed this solution at the customer's end, what type of solutions or challenges or issues that you face implementing this solution?
Yeah, thank you, Rihanna. Uh, See, from the operational challenges standpoint, when we basically started to deploy this particular solution, we had to get into the governance approvals and all of that, take the security approvals specifically from the ISGs and legal team and all of that. So, as Sagar mentioned in the previous part, so this coordinate solution, before deploying it, we have to basically make the geo-wise policy available or in fact ready, which has we had to take the buy-in from all the local retainer legal law standpoint, whether it's India, Philippines, US, Mexico, etc. From the country standpoint. So basically, it covers all the angles from the security standpoint as well as from the governance perspective. So we have those things covered in terms of from the deployment perspective, from the governance standpoint. Other challenges basically we faced in terms of, let's say, deployment time and timelines initially. So what we had to get into is to get into automated ways of deploying Cornea. What does that mean? Like using the automated tools like SCCM and all to ensure that the deployments are done in, let's say, 1 or 2 weeks of time for 100 to 200 users, as the case may be. So that particular things were taken care of while we were deploying the Cornea and all of that. Then other than that, data management also came into picture, where since we can understand by now that Cornea has two important aspects of, one is the productivity and one is the data security or the compliance model. From the productivity standpoint, Cornea basically had to capture in fact, every event what is there on the machine from the user from the as per the user, what he or she is doing the activity on the machine. And what I mean by that is to capture all this information. There are millions of record. Basically, it gets onto a storage level and all. So to maintain the data flow of the application with this security layer added into it, let's say by using SSL mechanism into place, so that the data which is in motion is basically is encrypted. Then when the data is basically captured and stored in a particular server, it has to be then basically processed further in the form of ETL and all of that, so that the right kind of information is visible on the portal as such, so that the relevant information is given to the operations team, or let's say WFM team, to process the data and see the what analysis has Kornea has brought in from that standpoint. So data management was other factor which we had to take care of it while we were deploying this particular solution. Other than that, from user acceptance standpoint, we had to basically ensure, in fact, make the employee understand why it's important, and from the data security perspective, why are we actually putting up the solution in place for them, and how is this going to benefit them and the organization at a large scale. From that perspective, those organizational challenges basically we had to take care of, and finally we basically managed to pull off all the governance things in place to ensure that there's a smooth rollout of Coordinate happens as and when it is required by the specific clients.
Perfect, perfect. That is very insightful, Imran. Thank you very much. Imran, I've got another question for you. So the computer vision is how is it really implemented? It's quite intriguing that we're using AI. So can you give me more technical details or insights on how Kornea actually works?
Yeah, sure. Why not? So, uh, before I answer this computer vision question, I want to double click on other aspect. The first aspect is the productivity standpoint, productivity aspects. So when we are talking about the productivity, what it is actually doing is it's actually capturing the login activity, or in fact the login hours of the user from a particular machine as per the shift timings. Let's say I'm working from 9 to 6, and what if my schedule adherence is, let's say, 9 to 7. So it tells you I did work from 9 to 6, however I did not follow my schedule adherence as such. Okay, that's the other factor. Then it not just captures the login hours, it also basically captures the productive time as well. So what I mean by productive time is that I may have worked for, let's say, 16 hours or 18 hours or 14 hours a day. However, what I am doing is I am actually trying to remove the in fact the non-productive hours, that is the break times and all of that, so that whatever left is basically would come out to be as a productive time as such. While I'm talking, what I would let me show one of the screens from the reporting standpoint, so that we all are clear about what we are actually talking about, and
That would
we
be
have the right
great.
kind of information can be viewed by everyone. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Thank you for that. Yeah, this is basically what I was talking about when I say login hours, productivity hours, or the non-productivity hours. So the entire bar over here, red and green, is the entire login hours. So within that, we have done the segregation as such. Green is something to do with the productivity hours, and let's say red is something to do with the non-productivity hours. And when I say non-productivity hours, it is basically simply as a case of, let's say, someone's machine was locked for XYZ time or so. Machine was, let's say, locked off for some reason, was shut down for some reason also within the shift timing. So it gives you
Yeah.
that specific bifurcation about the productivity and non-productive hours as such. If I have to talk a bit further on this, even in this green one, that is the productivity hour standpoint, what Cornea also captures is the demarcation of the application, whether I am actually using the official based application, or let's say non-officially categorized applications as such, so that you get to know the actual journey of the user from the productivity standpoint, and see how much the team or the entire team or the IB or the cost center is actually working as per the benchmark they might have set it for themselves. So that's what this particular screen gives us, helps us information to give us the productivity and non-productivity hours. And the right table over here is just giving us, like, from the user level perspective, someone wants to say here it's giving me like date wise how is the IBO, or it's a percentage performing on a particular day from the productivity and non-productivity parameters. But if I have to actually go down and see which are the users and all of that, how are they actually putting up their effort, and Hawaii, let's say for some reason target, let's say benchmark, this is the benchmark line, the dotted one, is not being met. So who is actually, in fact, not actually responsible? It's like something to do with like if to whom the reporting manager can go and speak to, so that it can ensure that the people who are not meeting up the target lines or the benchmark lines can be pulled up further, and the actual or the expected benchmark or productivity can be achieved. That is to do with the productivity features standpoint. There are few very interesting and important reports basically we have in place which basically helps the operations in need from the uh, from the expectation standpoint. So just one of the point over here is the workload analysis part, where I'll talk about this. What we have done here over here is we have done the bucketing of the particular hours. Let's say green is to do with someone is working from between 7 to 9 hours or so. It's been categorized as healthy, as a healthy bucket. Overutilized is like say someone is working for more than 9 hours or so. Underutilized is something like someone is working from less than 7 hours or so. So this all circles over here are nothing but it is selling for XYZ person for each of the day. Where are these people standing up in terms of the bucketing perspective also? Okay, and and the letters which we are seeing on top of those circles are like L, E, E, and O, W, and all of that. These are nothing but what we have done. We have superimposed this workload data with the attendance statuses as well, so that we come to know if someone is that's on leave, but he or she is working for some or other reason. So on those perspectives, we have indicated the attendance statuses and all of that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So basically, you'll be able to pick up who is your non-performers, but also who are your top performers.
That's correct. That's correct. That's perfect. And that is to do with the productivity standpoint. I know your original question was to do with more on the AI front. I'll show you one of small few seconds video over here, which Sagar was talking about in terms of the object detection, or let's say more than 1% detection or so. How Kornea basically actually does that in play. I'll just show that in a second or so. Just give me a second. Okay, can you see my screen again? It's a video thing.
Yes, we can see.
All right. So the screen, as mentioned, it's mobile detection. Just going to play this particular screen for now, as of now, and it is going to what the user over here is going to do is going to bring up the mobile in front of the camera or the laptop. And the moment that person brings the laptop in front of the screen, Cornea would be able to identify that particular object and would be able to send the alert accordingly to, let's say, reporting manager, or let's say to audit team, or let's say, in fact, the distribution list can be defined as such. Let me just try to play that. See this. So here alert is being displayed over here, and basically this alerts goes to the audit team or whichever recipient leads we want to have. Second use case, I've just posted. Second use case we are showing it as of now here is the more than 1% detection, like it's to be more to do with these shoulder surfing evidences or instances to be captured. So let's say someone is like coming and looking at the screen and going away. So Kornea is smart enough to identify there are more than one faces available in front of the screen or camera, and it can detect and show and send the measure, and can also send the alert accordingly. Okay. This third use case is over here is to do with like no face is there on the screen. So what mechanism it has, if let's say if someone is not there in front of the camera or the screen for, let's say, 15 seconds or 20 seconds as such, Cornea it can be configured in such a way that it can lock the screen altogether. Okay, it is configurable. If required, that can be changed. That number of seconds can be changed or so.
Wow, that's amazing.
It just is going further. It will pick up the message that the face is not detected, and whatever evidence, in fact, the use cases which I'm showing it over here as of now are basically captured in the form of an evidences, and can be basically used for the for what you say investigation purpose and XYZ for later for later whatever time
Purposes,
people need it.
like
Yeah.
documents, yes. So will the user also be able to see that message that we just saw on the screen popping up?
No, no, no. That person would not
Okay.
be definitely will not be able to see that. It is just going to be sent as an alert in the form of an email to the audit team. It is just for the from demo perspective, so that we all know that's how it works, how real time, how fast it works. That's hence the alert was put up over there. However, in actual implementation standpoint, it will go to the reporting manager or let's say audit team to when this kind of non-compliances is being captured by the Cornea.
Perfect, perfect. So I have one more question about your report that you showed. You've showed us the bar with the green is the productivity and the red is the non-productivity. So how does the AI determine when you are productive or not productive?
Okay, so AI is specifically is to do with the features which I am currently showing it, which I just showed it over here in terms of computer vision. When we talk about that, it is to do with the
Yes.
camera features, about the object detection, to do with the face detection, face authentication, face registration, more than one person, no face available. This is specifically to do with the computer vision algorithms. Okay, where we talk about AI and all of that. So these are so basically when before these particular evidences or let's say non-compliance are detected, there's a one previous step to this, which is to do with the face registration and face authentication, where we make a lot of use of machine learning algorithms to ensure that the right kind of face, in fact the right face encodings are registered, so that it basically compares it on later on when the actual image feed comes to camera, and it picks up that particular image and compares it with the pickle file of the previous pickle file or the encoding file of that particular person which was registered during the time of registration phase or so. So these activities basically uh, computes a confidence percentage level, which is then compared it with the let's say threshold percentage which we have let's say kept it. So if let's say it matches to 90% from the confidence value and 90% which has been let's say kept from the encoding standpoint, if those number matches, then basically it is going to tell us okay, or that this particular face is the same face which was there during the time of registration, and and then it will allow the user saying that that person is authenticated. Otherwise it is going to send out the message or the alert to the let's right kind of people or the team also, that saying that there is some kind of unauthorized access being there, something to do with like that the face was not registered for a particular machine or so or laptop or so. However, that XYZ face was detected, that's the unauthorized access as such. So all these things which I'm talking about computer vision standpoint comes under AI perspective.
Okay. So are you using any specific algorithm for that?
Yeah, definitely, definitely we are using it. If I have to talk about that in a bit, I'll talk about so three things I'll talk about a bit high level. If I have to talk technical, a lot of things would come into picture, but I'll talk about three things over here. First, when I talk about the object detection, that's a mobile detection. For what we are using it, we are using YOLO 4 as a model over here. Okay, from the object detection standpoint, there is other thing to do is with the face detection and face recognition. These are two different what is the scenarios or the aspect. Okay, in the face detection we are using the OpenCV DNN model over here to detect the faces. And as Sagar was giving one of the example about the what do you say, soft toys or so, so here we had to actually customize that particular model to ensure that only human faces are then detected, not just the face of, let's say, generally it happens like eyes are there, nose are there, lips are there. It would detect the faces also. However, we had to tweak in the algorithm in such a way or train the pictures in such a way that Cornea is smart enough to only detect the human faces as such, which we are using it with the help of the algorithm called as OpenCV and all. Third thing which I was talking about is the face recognition algorithm. In fact, that is to do with the FaceNet over here, which is from the Google standpoint available. And we again did some kind of tweakings over there. When I say tweaking, that we had to actually train the images in such a way that it actually helps us in comparing the face similarity or the percentage similarity between one person to other person. When I was talking about the confidence percentage versus the benchmark percentage, actually down below it, what it actually does this kind of face similarity algorithm has been run under the hood to see to it that if the face values or face similarities or face encodings are basically matches up, then only it would say that the face is recognized and the person is authorized. Otherwise, it would send out the alert saying that it's an unauthorized someone trying to trying to access the machine in on some kind of unauthorized way or so.
Wow, that is amazing. That is absolutely phenomenal. It sounds like a lot of work went into this production. So Sagar, my next question is for you. So looking at the current state of this product, Kornea, what is the future holding for Kornea?
A lot, yeah, we want to do with Cornea. AI, the way the market and the way the right brains are going about AI. I think there's a lot we can do in that. I think one of your questions got missed, so let me just capture that question before I go to this one. Is about how do we calculate productivity? So there are two basic models. One is the AI model that Imran is extremely passionate about, and the other model that we have is the machine learning, the data analytics.
Oh,
The data
okay.
analytics model basically, gets your data from everywhere, like your attendance data, and captures its own information. And with all of that, it creates a scenario saying that this is the time when you should have logged in, but you didn't or did. From this on to this on, you have logged in. So it gives very simple data of did you lock your PC? Was there a mouse movement? It captures that kind of information, creates this productivity. Says you have only 3 hours of screen time. Within that screen time, you used your official applications only for 90 minutes. Okay.
Ah,
That's
okay.
the information that it basically gives. What do we want to do with this? We want to do a lot where work from anywhere, even if you are at office, Kornea can be used. Right? So we are doing eye tracking. Eye tracking basically is that are you doing something else while talking to the customer? Two implementations on that. One, are we asking our agents to keep swirling through applications? He's not able to concentrate on it. Or
Yeah.
he's doing completely something else and talking to us. Right?
Opening YouTube, listening to music, whatever the case might be.
Just
So
talking
yeah,
to his
so you'll
friend,
be
his
able.
friend is saying just come,
Yeah.
and he's just, So virtual background. So, we are moving towards a virtual background. So we are thinking about doing virtual backgrounds from Kornea itself.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
okay. And also understand if they're doing any other thing that you, in the background using a virtual background. So both unmasking a virtual background and giving a virtual. Both
Wow.
is what we are trying.
Wow.
We also want to blur second face. So if you are on a call, if you're at work, so we blur your background, Kornea, so that there's not too many alerts. We understand people will be moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're at work, it will blur your background. When you're at home, it will capture a second person. Internet speed, very important.
Yeah.
The biggest reason I think everybody here who's joined will say the biggest reason why people said it could not work is because it was on internet. It just got locked down. So, so it will capture your internet speed. It will capture if the PC got suddenly shut down, right? It can trigger the IT team if need be, and make sure that we don't waste time before the time they roam around, find help, try to I don't have an internet. How do I even register an issue?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we alert proactively. So these are some of the things very, very quickly.
That's amazing. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of those features being rolled out. Thank you very much, Sagar and Imran. So I see that we've got a couple of questions in the chat. So I'm just going to go through them quickly, and then if you guys can please answer them. So the first question we've got from Arjun is, how do you deal with data privacy, or is it specific to only a few countries? And how do you determine if the time spent is productive or not? But I think, Sagar, we've already answered that for the second part of that question. So the first question is just about data privacy specific to only a few countries or not.
Like data privacy, I think Imran did touch upon that. Data at rest, data in movement, it's all encrypted. So we've ensured that all of that, as far as the data movement and data security is concerned, it's all there. But like I said, there are two data that we take care of, right? There are also people.
Yeah.
We are a people business. I keep saying that, and that's our. So as far as Geo is concerned, we have our internal ISG who has certified it. All people policies have been taken care of. Legal has approved. There are some countries like Malaysia, Philippines, where we are doing a COC. A COC basically means that we will. A COC is a code of conduct. What we do
Yeah.
is we take a sign off even before Cornea. Cornea itself triggers a sign off document.
Wow.
That I have been deployed. This is what I'm going to do. I know I'm trying to talk it as a person, but that's what AI is. And this is what and hence please sign off. It can be done on a daily basis, right? We also do a COC in places where GDPR, in UK and in Europe, where we tell them, we ensure them that none of your private data is being captured, even your name is not captured. The only thing we capture is employee ID, which is given by the organization, and the device information that comes out of the device that is given by. So all of that, Rihanna, we have taken care of. In fact, we are working with your team in South Africa now to have this deployed.
Fantastic. That's good to know. So just based on that data product or data privacy. So what if an employee is busy with something very sensitive like budgetings or things like that? Will the data that he's working with also be protected?
We don't capture any data. We only capture what he's doing in the, we call it keystrokes. It only captures strokes. It does not capture any data. So everyone can be rest assured. You're not seeing what you're doing on an Excel sheet or you're doing on a system or you're copy pasting, taking a payment. Nothing is getting captured. It only captures: are you logging off? Are you logging in? Are you switching off? Are you taking a picture? Are you using Control C, Control V? Are you using print screen? Stuff which you're not.
Yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic. Great, thank you, Saga. I see we've got another question from Noman, who was asking, what are the industries which we are planning to aim this at? What type of industries?
We are already in conversation with a UK healthcare organization, and thank you Noman for the question. Yeah, we are working with the healthcare industry. We are working with the retail industry. We are talking about putting this on tills, billing tills. We are how many times it was opened, how many times it's closed. So that's something that we're talking about. But we are in discussion with manufacturing units. Because a lot of that now works on software. A lot of those, hence we are in conversation. See, we are a big unit as a Mahindra group. Right? So there's a lot of touch points that we are going through. Interestingly, we have deployed Kornea in almost all industry agnostic in the hiring team.
Wow. Okay.
So hiring and HR,
Yeah.
and HR, legal. So who monitors the monitors?
That's quite interesting.
So agnostically, we have deployed it in the vertical of the RMG team, which is your recruitment team, not Tech Mahindra, but outside. It was a client requirement. They want to know that why do they take so long to recruit? Yeah. So and these people have open accesses. They go to websites to look for people, and very interesting information which I can't share. But these are agnostic use cases. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we are doing that. We just spoke to a bank a couple of days back. They are very interested to deploy this because security is their prime concern. So as long as none of the data is getting captured, they should be very.
That is amazing. And I think for companies who's got telesales or call centers where the presence of an employee at a desk is mandatory at all times, I think that would also be a very, very nice solution for call centers as well. All right, our next question is from, I'm just going to try and cover all the questions. I think we are almost running out of time. So we've got a question here that says, let me just move this thing down. Okay, how the break timings will be calculated. Say I take my lunch break or washroom break, or by any means, someone rings the doorbell. If I go and open the door, and by the time the screen goes off or lock, etc., because during these times when I'm not in front of a laptop, the screen will get locked. So how would we deal with that?
See, a couple of answers to this. One is every security document that you sign anywhere in the world says do not leave your PC on.
Yeah,
when you're not
that's
there.
true.
So
Lock your
you are
computer when
going
you get
to,
up.
yeah, stop your dog from barking or, going for the doorbell. You have to lock, right? We are just making it easy. Uh, the second thing is, what we do is we take data from the WFM team, and that's the data model that I was talking about. So all your break times and shrinkages are already there with the coordinates. What it does is it captures and tells what time did you take that break, before, after. So it's already captured. If you're somebody who's non-scheduled, it will just say this times you are unproductive. Uh, Please, you need to understand that, we capture say 12 hours that you use your laptop, 8.5,
Yeah.
9.5 hours says your login. 1 hour is say your lunchtime, through the day. So what your baseline is 8.5 hours or 8 hours that we are looking at. That's a minimum that you are managing. That's all.
Okay. So it automatically calculates that. That's wonderful. All right. And the next question is from Nilesh asking, what if any person connects his laptop and external keyboard to a desktop screen and working on a desktop big screen? So what if you've got two working on a laptop and you've got an additional screen? Will that hinder Kornea?
It will not hinder Kornea. We will have to shut down the module where it will get locked when you're not there. Hence, we'll ensure that you're taking approval before you, connect your company device to an external, device. If it's an office device that you're using, your desktop, then Kornea will come, integrated with that kind of. But everything else will get captured. If you're taking a picture of the desktop, without the camera, Kornea will not capture that because there is no camera in front of that. But that's a very interesting thing. I think we should look at how we can look at that.
Yeah. Wonderful. Thank you for that question, Alesh. All right. And then another question from Sagar. Is it going to interface with ChatGPT in some form or shape?
Everybody wants to integrate everything with ChatGPT.
True. Very true.
Yeah. So see, this application ensures that you're not taking a picture. So what will you do by using an application that can create pictures, right? But
Exactly.
ChatGPT has different use cases, and I think next time when we do something like this, we'll show what we've done with ChatGPT. We are trying to make ChatGPT talk by integrating it with the telephony. We are trying to, do some kind of work with ChatGPT where it can help people get trained. So we are integrating ChatGPT's LLM model, which is basically it's a conversation. With say language model, we can change languages.
Okay.
Right? And creating that kind of an environment where you can learn, a language using ChatGPT because it's a conversation application. So a lot happening on the ChatGPT space, but like I said, Kornea has limited access. If you want, we can make ChatGPT speak out your productivity data loud. So that's
Amazing. Great. Okay, next question. Let's see. There's many questions coming in. So from Kalpesh asking, how will it work if there is a photo frame on the wall behind the user? So I assume that would be a face, photo frame.
Yeah, I think he did capture that point, and there's something that I talked about, eye tracking. So the next phase of Kornea is eye tracking. It will track if your eyes are moving.
Ah, that makes sense. Okay. Another question from Sukhdev asking, how soon can Kornea be implemented?
It's a plug and play. So
Wonderful. So
it
no
is plug and play.
integration and
It's a SaaS
development.
model.
Nothing.
It's cloud ready. Just
Fantastic.
install it.
I like that. Okay, another question from Ravi asking how the licensing for Kornea works, including the type of licensing, and is it based on a number of users or perpetual licensing and costing?
I think we'll take that question separately. We'll connect with you. Don't want to talk commercials here, but it would be basically user based. But the user is not a named user. Basically, it will be your device as in where it is installed.
Fantastic. All right, and then a question from Barun. So Imran, I think this question is for you. For catching the employee's activity laptop camera, does the camera have to be always on, or does it work on the background? So is it on the whole time, or just on when there's any movement?
Yeah, so definitely from the camera feature standpoint, the laptop camera is required to be on. So camera, in fact, Cornea will invoke the camera by its own moment it is installed. So no one has to actually manually go and on and off, because
Switch
even
it
if you
on.
off the camera, it will again switch it on. So camera is required definitely.
Okay, great. And Nirya asking, will Kornea work during a conference call? Imran?
Yeah, good question over here. So why I'm saying good questions, because when I'm referring to conference call, you may be talking about the video conference call, let's say WebEx or let's say Teams and all of that. So how technically it works is like, as you may be aware of, since the question is specific to conference call, uh, any application which is installed on your machine, uh, only one application basically can access the camera at a time, right? So whether it's going to be Cornea or whether it's going to be conference call. So what we have done for this particular cases is like, we basically give the option to the, let's say, user, do they want to actually move on to the WebEx camera, in fact the conference camera as such.
Yeah.
Okay. Or other way round is that they should not be using the camera on WebEx. Cornea would capture the details for you. So that's how we have to play around, because from technical standpoint, only one application or software can access your camera device. That's how it works.
Okay, great. And then a question from Mohan. What are the more upcoming features going to be added to the tool? I think Sagar has answered some of those. But Imran, is there anything else that we can look forward to in the future of Kornea?
Yeah, I think Sagar has covered. I think few other things could be to do with the key loggers and all, because there was one of the, I heard somewhere in the past there's something to do with some kind of misbehavior, or maybe some kind of uh, some kind of code of conduct was being violated in terms of putting the wrong passwords or so by xyz person or so. So we had to capture the key loggers and all of that. What is the key being logged on the application as such? So that feature or functionality can be looked at to actually to capture the actual user who is doing who's putting up the wrong details for xyz for in an account for some other person or so. So key logger could be one of the feature and all. So feature could be many if you if you have to put in, but the near roadmap is what I think Sagar has covered, which we will be which we will stick into for now.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, and I think let's just do one last question and then we can close out. So another question from Kalpesh asking, how will this work if there is a hardware switch to shut the laptop camera?
Sorry, what was the
Sorry,
hardware?
hardware switch to shut the laptop camera.
If the laptop camera is shut down, right? That's a question. The simple for this one is like the moment if the camera is shut off by, let's say, you are pulling off the shutter of the particular camera, or so let's say keeping some kind of thumb or something like this in front of the camera from corner, as I had shown one of the feature or use case while I was showing the video. It, as you might have noticed, that if there's no face corner detects, then what it will do in 15-20 seconds, it will lock your machine altogether. So if you shut down your camera, put some kind of thumb in front of the camera or so, what Kornea is simply going to do, for Kornea, there is no face available in front of the camera. So it will treat it as there is no one available in front of the camera. It will shut down the machine or lock your machine as such.
Okay. All right. And then one last question, which I think is quite a good question from Rahul. Will it slow down the system performance?
Perfect question. Because if I think I may go a bit long for this, but I'll cut short my response to this one. Because generally what we used to do is, in all the applications which we have been made in the past, it is always about making the application and then trying to optimize the performance of, let's say, reporting and all of that as such. However, this time we had to do it in a reverse way around. Okay, so what I mean by that is, deploying the solution, I had to ensure that the topmost priority is that your machine performance should not be degraded at any chance, by any chance. So that was very tricky level of coding actually from OS standpoint, because when I'm talking about, it captures the user activity, it captures the camera features and all of that. It basically we had to basically do the OS level kind of programming, wherein we to touch the Windows level methods and event weaver and all of that. So on top of that, we had to ensure that the performance of the machine doesn't go down. So that was my first priority in this particular product while building it. And second thing came is the optimization of the results which is been coming out from the cornea. So
Yeah.
to answer to that question, we have ensured that there will be no performance degradation, or in fact in degradation when you deploy the cornea, because we have deployed this for more than like 5,000 machine as of now. So no problem as such. So no need to worry on the performance bit.
Wow, that's amazing. That's great to hear. All right, so I think that's all time that we have right now. So I just want to say thank you to Sagar and to Imran and Vibhav, which unfortunately had to drop off. Thank you so much for your time and discussing this amazing product that you guys have created. Looking really forward to see what the future holds. And also thank you to all the attendees that joined us today. I see there's a lot of questions coming through still, and I think what we can do is, if anyone wants to find out more about Kornea, we have brochures that we can send, or if you actually want to see an actual demo, live demo, then you can also contact us. So the email address that you can use is transformthroughtechnology@techmahindra.com. So I'm going to paste it here in the chat so that everyone can see that. So just pop us a mail through on that email address, and we will answer any of your questions, set up demos, or send you some brochures for more information regarding that. All right, and I just want to say thank you for everyone joining today. This was quite a nice breath of fresh air, a new product being developed that can help us assist in these new times in monitoring, productivity of your top performers and your non-performers, but both will be captured. So thank you to everyone and have a lovely evening, and we will catch up soon again.
Thank you everyone for joining.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
Rihanna.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
everyone for joining in.
Yeah.
Organizing this.